Being a Christian woman and walking in God's calling for our lives can be a difficult task. With the world and pop culture telling us to be one way, and the Bible saying another, you kind of end up feeling like an other. Well, you're not alone. Join me now and my friends as we navigate life in our 20s and 30s, while making sure we live out our faith, embrace our femininity, and looking cute. We discuss pop culture, life, careers, relationships, and so much more. Prepare to be entertained and educated. I know you're going to love it. Join our movement and embrace being another girl. The views expressed on this podcast are our own and do not reflect our employers. Enjoy. Hello, everyone. You're listening to Those Other Girls with Mallory and Friends. I'm Mallory.
And I'm Isabel.
And we are changing culture and bringing back traditional values. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We have a lovely Teacap. Much to discuss. Much to discuss. A lot has happened. But before we do that, is there anything cool, fun, or interesting going on with you this past week? We didn't have an episode this past week, so anything you want to
Yeah, I
catch?
was about to say, I'm trying to think of all the things that I've been doing. Yeah, it's been pretty busy, but like fun busy. May is always like a really packed month with like my Mother's Day we just had, which I was just telling my boyfriend, I'm like, how are we like in May already? Like
I
Mother's Day already
know.
passed. I remember thinking, oh my God, I'm gonna turn 30, and then now my little sister turned 15. My other sister turns, well, I'm not gonna say her age. My sister's birthday is Friday. Not that that's a bad thing, but I'm not gonna. She's gonna be like, why are you talking about me? Anyways, so my other sister's birthday is Friday. My brother's is Wednesday. Girl, my mom was like, I just gave birth every single May. I'm like, yeah, you did.
That's
And
funny.
my brother's birthday's Wednesday. My sister's is Friday. My mom's birthday's the 25th. My nephew's is next week as well. So it's just like, girl, I'm like trying to take a breather this month. Not like work related, but just family related. I guess that's what happens when you have like four siblings and nieces and nephews and stuff. So it's always busy. What else did I do? Not fun weekend actually. It was a bummer. I mean, I know I talked to you on the phone. No, not on the phone, but I texting you. The whole Melanie story
Yes.
that
Yeah.
happened.
That's
Can I say something
funny.
really? Yeah, that was funny. Melanie, I
Have you
love you.
cleared
I'm
it
so
up?
sorry. No, I
Okay.
mean, the woman just gave birth, so I'm like, you know
True.
what? Now is not the time to talk about this. But you know what? I'm gonna hold off. That's gonna be my little teaser. We'll talk about it next time when we don't start the podcast all freaking late. But yeah, it was so funny with Melanie. So sorry, Melanie. I love you, girl. Basically, long story short, I thought she was a scammer, so I was trying to like get her off my messages. I'm so bad at like saving people's names. Like, why did I think it was a good idea to save her name as Melanie IG, like not only Instagram. Like, of course, then I go back. I'm like, I'm not gonna scroll through my 9,000 followers to see who Melanie from IG is because I have like probably like 100 Melanies. So, anyways, that was funny. But my 10th year reunion for cheerleading for Dynamo was this past Saturday, and I was so excited. Like, I hyped it up way too much, and I literally woke up feeling horrible. And then I woke up with the worst like swollen eyelids. I have like this like eczema that basically made its way to my eyes, and then I started scratching. Anyways, it was just not the weekend I had expected, let's just say that.
Did
But
you end up going?
no.
Oh, no,
So
you
I
didn't
was
even
like,
go?
no, I didn't go. I didn't go. And
Oh.
honestly, my sister was like, go, go. And that's the thing with me, girl. I'm like, I need to stop saying that I'm gonna go to these things because A, like you just never know what's gonna happen. Two, I live in the suburbs and it's just a lot, everything just kind of piled up with the whole I'm not really feeling good. And then for me to get in my car, get ready,
Oh.
drive, like it was not working out. Like I
I'm
really
so
wanted to, but
sad.
I
I knew
know my
you
friend.
wanted to.
I know, and I told my sister, I feel so dumb. I kept telling everybody about it. Because I was
Oh.
like, should I go? Should I not? And then it got too late, and I was just like, you know what? I'm not gonna go. It's like, because to me, if I go to the city, it has to be like a whole thing, like a whole event. Like, I want to make it worth it. I want to make sure I go early, get good parking, all that. So with me not feeling well, and then it was just like, by the time I felt kind of like going, it was already too late. So
Mm.
hopefully, it's not the last reunion, and I get to go.
Yeah, hopefully
So
it's not the last. I'm sure. So is it like put on by a member of them, or is it like
no, it was just put on by like one of the girls we used to dance with. Um,
she was just
yeah,
like,
so
"Hey,
hopefully.
girlies, let's meet up"?
Yes, yes, yeah. They
Oh,
just
okay.
created a Facebook event, and they were like, "Hey, it's been a long time. Let's all get together at this like bar, restaurant. Or I think it's a bar, not a restaurant." And then, yeah, that was just kind of it. These are the details. Blah blah blah. Everyone show up. So, but it was all the girls from all like all the seasons. So it wasn't just
Oh,
like my season girls. So I was telling my friends because a lot of them couldn't make it. Like a lot of them were like literally like 9 months pregnant. So they're like, "Yeah, I can go." They're like, "I'll stop by," but so I was like, "Yeah, let's not do that." But yeah, maybe I can plan something. I don't know. I'm pretty good at like coordinating stuff too. Like I love getting the girls together. Like that's just one of my
it's
my
one of your
favorite things to do.
things. Yeah,
Yes, like I literally plan my birthday brunch like 3 days in advance.
nice,
So
nice.
hopefully we could plan a brunch. But other than that, I mean, just life. Um, didn't really do anything exciting, so unfortunately. What about you?
I don't really think I did too much exciting. I have a lot going on. I'll share eventually one day. You got to keep listening. Um. Oh, last week.
You and I.
Yeah, last week for work, I went to DC, so that was fun.
Oh, did you fly there or you have to
Yeah,
drive?
flew. Oh, girly, I'm not gonna drive.
Ooh. I was
Flew,
about to
flew.
say they better fly you, honey.
Yes, yes. I was flown out. Let me stop. It really wasn't that big of a deal.
You're
It
like
was
flown out. It was your company.
no, 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 no. It was literally it was just
As you
like one of
should, queen.
those corporate things where you like take the test to see like what is
Take
your
the test.
communication style? What is
Oh, so it's like an
your
HR thing.
yeah. It wasn't it wasn't anything like too crazy. So that's what I did last week. And then this past
Yeah.
weekend, unbeknownst to me, my parents planned for us to go to Charleston for the day.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember you
Saturday.
were telling me.
Yeah, yeah. So we drove to Charleston by we and me, my dad, and I sat in the back with my headphones and then eventually listened to Adventures in Odyssey. So that was fun.
Oh,
Um, but we went to Charleston and we visited this restaurant that was actually really good. Can't remember the name, but it's super
good.
popular. And then we went and we did like the water taxi. So we just like
Uh-huh.
went to the different spots and then you're supposed
What?
to see dolphins, didn't see any dolphins. On the way back, it was this kid. He was saying how he saw dolphins. I was like, "Where'd you see dolphins?" He said, "I've seen dolphins twice today, and one of the times you were on the ship too. You didn't see them." And I was like, no, I guess I missed them." And he's like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, there's dolphins out there." And I was like, "Okay, I guess." Yeah, you don't have to like. He was like really, I don't know. I was just like, I'm just asking. I wanted to see the dolphins too, but
He's like,
anyway,
do you not believe me?
right,
That's funny.
right. So that's what I did, and that was fun. That was fun. A lot of walking that day. Oh, and I started boxing again, everybody. I
Oh,
started
we love a boxing
boxing.
queen.
Yes. My brother and his friends every Saturday morning they go and do Krav Maga. And like I
Oh.
eventually want to do that with them. Like I want to learn. Like it just looks so like cool and like I don't know, it's something about
Yeah,
it.
I feel like when you get older, not that we're older because we are young queens, but
Yes, we
like you
are.
just want to do more, like you want to get back to your hobbies. Like I'm just like, oh, this is
Yes.
fun. Like this would like you almost it's funny because when you're younger, all you want to do is like go out and like have fun, blah blah blah, get crazy, whatever that means for you. But then it's like as you get older, you're like, ooh, I want to try tennis. I want to try playing pickleball. Like I want to try. Like me and my friends were like literally about to try to get together and play some pickleball.
I want to try pickleball too. I want to
Like
like do
I
some
want to
more
be a
of this
sports queen.
boxing and then I want to do see, I don't want to be sports
Pilates,
queen.
whatever.
I want to try Pilates. I don't want to be sports queen because I don't want people to get confused. Like my dad was like, "Oh, do you want to?" No, 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 no. I don't want anyone to be confused. I'm not trying to do sports. I'm not trying to be a boxer. I don't want to go into the
Melanie's gonna
ring.
have a sports page now. Just kidding.
Yeah, yeah. No, no, no. That's not it. This is for exercise. And I'm not gonna lie. I also do like hitting things. Like that is fun.
Yeah, like getting your anger out in a
Yeah,
healthy
yeah.
way. Like letting
Yeah.
some and that's what guys do. I was telling my boyfriend, it's so funny like how girls relax versus how guys talk about things. Like if I want to talk to my friend about it, like, girl, let's go to the spa, let's get our pedicure, let's talk, you know. And then guys are like, let's go to the gym, let's sweat, bro, like let's punch things. I'm like, okay, live your best life, just come back and
Yeah.
take a shower.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And don't bring any
yeah.
of that anger towards me. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, get all that anger out over there and then I'll
Get
see
the
you
angry,
later.
sweaty, grouchy stuff out of the way, and then come and let me be the passenger princess. Anyways, so that's good, but so good luck with
Yeah.
that. And I feel like I don't know about you, but like what motivates me, okay, like me, is getting cute outfits and just like putting yourself together before you work out or whatever. Like I
Love
feel
it.
like it just makes your workouts much better, especially if you really are not looking forward to working out, which every day I do not look forward to it. Like not every day I look forward to it, you know? So on the days that I don't, I'm just
Yeah.
like, ooh, I have a pink outfit. Like, ooh, I have my cute little tumbler, you know? Just whatever.
Yeah. And my gloves are pink. So that just also makes me happy. My wraps are
Yeah.
pink. So it's like, okay, well I'm happy to
Cute.
like this at least there's a little bit of pink in this.
Exactly. You
Um
like it's a cute little outfit or plan something fun afterwards so that like it motivates you.
yeah, yeah.
No, I guess that's I don't know. Anyways.
Yeah. All right. Anything else we have a lot to talk
Mm,
about today, so I feel like we should get into the
no,
stories.
we can get into it. Let's get into it.
Okay. So first thing, oh, yeah, first thing, let's do a quick clink. So if you're new here, what we like to
Oh,
do before we do our stories is we like to clink,
pink.
clink.
Ooh, cute.
It's like a toast. And if you're listening for the first time, welcome. I definitely didn't welcome
You're
anyone.
welcome.
Welcome to the show. It's kind of just us chit-chatting about stuff. This is the Teacap. We talk about things from the Christian perspective. So we're going to be talking about some topics that you and your friends have probably talked about this week, but it might have a little twist. Or we might not have this crazy twist you thought of because we're normal girlies and we're not too online. I mean, we are online, but not too online that we can't talk like a normal person.
Ooh.
Okay. So first thing I want to say, shout out for those who do not know, Melanie had the baby. She
Oh,
had the baby, I guess it'll be
Friday.
Friday. Yep. I was gonna say 3 days ago. Yeah, that's 3 days ago. She had the baby 3 days ago. Really excited. He is a boy. He is a boy. So I was wrong. I thought it was a
Oh,
girl. I've been calling
right,
him a
because they didn't
girl
do a
this whole
gender
time.
reveal.
Yes,
Oh.
yes. I've been calling him a girl this whole time, so I apologize. If you see this in the future, I did think you were a girl. I admit I was wrong. I'm not wrong often,
Oh,
but I am wrong on that. But I'm
thank you.
excited. I'm happy
Auntie,
you're here.
Auntie Mallory was wrong. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no. I don't want you to get used to that. Like, do not this. If you're listening now, like this is such an abnormal occurrence. But we're very, very, very happy and proud of Melanie.
Yes,
And
congratulations, Queen.
yes. First Mother's Day. Oh yeah, technically her first because she wasn't pregnant last May. So it's her first Mother's Day.
Wow.
Yeah. And congratulations to Jerry too. Jerry is already a great dad. She shared it on her story, so I feel okay sharing it here. He hopped in the
Right.
car and just drove on to come because he wasn't in California where they were at the time. And he
That's
got there right
crazy.
on time. Yeah, he got there to be there. So I'm really happy that like it all worked out. And we love you if you're
We love you,
listening.
girl.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Mama. Show your
Yes.
baby snuggles. They're so cute at every stage, but I feel like the newborn, you're like,
Yeah.
oh, so cute.
And it's probably like super euphoric just because like
Right?
all of the hormones and just everything, just, especially like your first baby, I'm sure it's just like, oh my gosh, this is also new.
I know, right? Well,
Yeah.
I'm not a mom, but I've carried all my little nieces and nephews, and they're just so cute. They don't even open
Yeah.
their eyes.
Oh.
Like, just so cute. I'm sure she's like obsessed right now. We love that
Yeah.
for her, and she's probably sleep deprived. But God bless her. Keep her in your prayers. I've seen my
Yes.
sister go through the whole motherhood, newborn stage, and I'm just like, Oh my God. My sister literally was just texting me last night. So you just feel like a different tired, like a tired you've never known in your life. I'm like, oh, okay.
Like,
I
all
was like, I
right,
think I'm
good.
okay right now.
Good to know. Good to know.
Sweet
Um,
moment.
Another person who is pregnant. I just want to also officially congratulate Justin and Hailey Bieber from the
Ooh.
podcast. Like, I just, I want to use my platform to congratulate them. They announced that they're pregnant. Did you see the announcement?
Yes, my little sister
So
was like, "Oh
cute.
my gosh, Hailey Bieber's pregnant." I knew it because I guess they had kind of gave a little like little hint because she was like, there's a special guest arriving or a special guest was coming with us. So my sister was like, I think that means that they're pregnant. So I was like, okay. And then they came out with the
Oh,
news. I don't know if she said that in an interview or something prior to that, but apparently
cute.
yeah, she kept saying there's gonna be a special guest at the Met Gala, right? Because that's what happened at the Met Gala. Is that
No,
where
they
they
didn't.
revealed it? Oh, just kidding.
No, they didn't
Okay,
go to the Met Gala.
never mind.
But okay, so I don't know. I'm not doubting your sister or you, but I feel like that's not the right story.
Oh.
Um, because like
I could be wrong.
because like all the blogs were saying that they were getting a divorce. Like
Oh,
Dumois was
okay.
saying they were getting a divorce. But I do want to say like I knew she was pregnant. I just knew it. I knew they were getting a divorce. And I
That's
think this is
crazy.
yeah, but everybody was like Dumois posted about it. NT did
So
not, which
much.
honestly NT is pretty on top of it, but Dumois said stuff about divorce.
Sorry.
Everybody like I don't know if you saw the tweet I shared. It was like people were doing like all these things on TikTok. Well, they're going to get da da da, and then it turns out they're pregnant, and they redid their vows. They renewed their vows, and it's like it
Oh,
just
that's so
also
cute.
yeah, adorable, and it just also kind of reminds me like we have to do better as like consumers of content because at the end of the day we
Society.
don't know any of these people, so like there should never
Yeah.
be a time where like wishing people divorce. Like I've said this before, if there are no Paul brother haters, I'm dead. Like I really don't like them, but I will never wish them a divorce. I will never wish bad on their children. Like
Or
that's
act
never
like you know
something.
their entire life because you don't.
Right, so like I feel like I don't understand how like why people are crossing some of these lines. Like I
Yeah.
remember seeing this TikTok. This girl was saying like, and when I watch this and this and this, and I'm telling you guys, they're getting divorced. And it was just like you're doing too much. Like see a
Yeah.
picture, make a funny comment, and then keep moving. Like you don't have to do. And that's just like I don't know, just seeing that, and I'm happy for them because they renewed their vows and they're pregnant. So it just kind of like shut everyone up. Like okay,
Right.
you guys, like just let them live their life.
It's also good to know like there's, young couples in Hollywood that are
Yes.
like wanting to have families, because I feel like a lot of it is like the rhetoric is be single, have a million cats and blah blah blah. I mean, if that's obviously like whatever, right? Live your best life, but I'm just saying I think it's cool to see like well, no, it's not cool, but
They're
it's always good to see
traditional.
families
Yeah.
like Hollywood families being, born or whatever. So good for them.
Yeah, it's like I was listening to the toast and they Claudia made a comment like they're traditional. Like they got married young, they're Christian.
Yeah.
They waited to get married to have children and like I'm sure you guys in the last couple of days have seen the videos of him saying how much he wants to be a dad. So it's like really sweet and like I personally like I love seeing pregnancy announcements or like when my friend will text me and be like, I haven't told anyone yet, but I'm pregnant. And you know that they've wanted it so badly. Like it's just like
Yes, it's so
I
sweet.
end up crying too, like with them. Like it's just
Yeah.
it's always such a great, beautiful moment when
To celebrate life
yeah,
coming into
celebrate
this world.
life. And
I think that's what it is.
it is, and it's a celebration of life coming to this world. And like people go, "Oh, it just happens all the time." Sure, it happens all the time, but it's still a miracle because there's still
Right.
people who like die in other countries. Sometimes, I mean, even in our country, but like
Yeah.
people have complications. It's still a beautiful miracle that this
It
happens.
really
So it's
is. From
always
conception
exciting.
to birth.
Yeah, yeah, and it's just like I'm happy for everyone. If you're pregnant, I'm happy for you. If you're pregnant and you haven't told anybody and you want to tell someone, tell me. I won't tell anyone. But that always makes me
Or
happy.
me.
Yeah, or tell
I'm like, or
Isabel.
me.
She
It's
won't
so
tell
cute to see.
anyone.
And honestly, people are really good at like hiding it because when you get on Instagram, when you scroll, I'm like, oh my God, she's pregnant. Like I had no clue. Not that I
Yeah.
would, because I don't see them every day or like don't see them in real life. But like I'm like, good for you. Like you could keep a secret like that long, you know? Like
Yeah.
uh,
Do you follow Girl
uh-oh.
Defined? Do you know Girl Defined?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so for those who follow Girl Define or used to follow Girl Define, when I was younger, that I was like every video they had out, I'm like taking notes, and now they're like for like younger 20s.
Yeah.
Anyway, I still follow their Instagram, and Kristen is pregnant too. She's 8 months
Oh.
pregnant, I think, and she struggled with infertility for like 10 years. They adopted two boys like right before, I think a couple months before from
She conceived
Ukraine.
her, I guess. Oh,
Well,
okay.
no, a couple months before the Ukraine, everything happened in Ukraine, and they're Ukrainian.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so that was like maybe 3 years ago, and then now she's pregnant. I think she's pregnant with a girl. But anyway, like when I saw she was pregnant, it almost made me tear up because I know how much she wanted to get pregnant and have children herself, and she was
Wow.
already a mother because, like I said, she adopted and like she loves those boys because they're her children. But like she's excited about I don't know. I was just so
Carrying a
happy for
child.
her. Yeah, and it's
That's
eight.
so cute.
Yeah, yeah. So
I love
yeah,
that. I know I love
and
seeing all those announcements and stuff. I think it's so cute, especially when they make like little videos and I'm just like,
oh,
oh,
I
I love life is
love a
so
good video
beautiful and like
announcement.
babies and everything. Like, oh, that's just so special.
Yeah.
So I agree.
My friend showed me her announcement to her family. And like I've known her, we've been friends since like high school, and she was like showing me this
Yeah.
video, and like it was at like a Christmas party, so I was trying not to like be emotional in front of everybody. But like to be honest, seeing like her brother, I don't know
Yeah.
why, but like seeing guys excited makes me more emotional, I guess, because like
You
just in
don't
the world
really,
we live in, you don't see that. You just don't.
yeah,
I'm
you don't see
sorry.
that.
You don't. But like seeing her brother be so excited was just like the sweetest thing. And it was just like, oh. But like
Oh,
everybody's watching me watch the video. So I was like, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry.
I
And
know
then
you're
like,
like, I can't get more emotional than the family. Like,
literally. And her parents were so happy, and his parents. It's just so, I love it. And I love it. I love it.
we're
I love
happy
it.
for them. I love that.
Yes. And then that kind of leads to the next story really quick. I don't know if you saw this, but I kind of wanted to talk about this for a hot second, not too long, because we have other things to talk about. And I just
Yeah, it's gonna
added
be like
this,
4 stories or something. I
yeah,
saw.
and I just added this to the docket just because, like, I think it's crazy. This woman tweeted about Mother's Day, and like, Mother's Day is strangely becoming, for lack of a better word, political. Like, it's taken a whole nother like meaning
Level.
almost. Yeah, it's taking a whole other
Mhm.
meaning than it did before. So this woman tweeted, Mother's Day is not for women who own plants, women who own pets, women who aborted their babies, women who have never been pregnant nor adopted children, women who are aunts but have no relationship with their nieces and nephews, and and men who pretend to be women. Which is like, okay, that makes sense. If you're not raising a child, and you're a woman, then you're not a mom. Like, if you don't have children, then you're not a mom. I think that, I think I can agree with that. I will say I disagree about the
Right.
aborted babies. I do think you're still a mom if you aborted your baby. But
I think so too.
this person, so listen to what this person said. This person goes, so you choose this day to look down on women who aren't mothers based on society standards. What about nurses and doctors who care? Okay. I'm laughing because this is just like silly. He goes, what about nurses and doctors who care for the sick and sustain life when a child's condition is more serious than what a regular mother can cure? What about teachers who educate our children in ways beyond our own maternal understanding? What about the social worker and police officer who will go above and beyond to enter a home and save a child from abuse and neglect because the child's parents failed to protect them? What about child advocates and judges who help the adoption process? Many of these roles are held by women, but it's Mother's Day. Like, to me, it's Mother's Day.
Like it's okay to have a day for the mothers and just
Yeah,
them. Like it's gonna be okay, you know?
it's going to be okay. Like, why are you listing every other career? Like, she's
Because then
listing
it's
these
like
careers.
because then it's like, why don't we all just celebrate Mother's Day? Like You can
Not all.
celebrate. I can celebrate, you
Let's just
know?
have a Women's Day. It might as well
Right?
just be Women's Day. Like, I don't understand. She said nurses and doctors and
Not
teachers.
even laughing at the
What?
comment. I'm laughing at you, how much fun you're having reading.
Well, it's just so funny to me because it's like nurses and doctors and teachers. These are all great women. Like, we have, like, there are days set aside to celebrate them, and like they should be celebrated. These are great things. Like, these aren't bad things, but they're not moms. Like, they're not a mother. A mother is.
I think it's like if you birth a kid, obviously adoption counts, but like if you birth a child from your, I told my boyfriend, if you birth a child and your, you know, vagina opened up 10 centimeters, and yes, you're a mom, you're a mother.
Yeah, and adoption, like if you adopted, if you are raising a child and you're a
Yeah.
woman, you are a mother.
Right. And even I jokingly said, like, oh, well, like, you know, it takes a village to raise, and it does take a village to raise kids. And like, obviously, my nieces and nephews, like, I saw them since they were born. They came from the hospital, like, all this and stuff. And I love them. But like, obviously, I'm still not their mom. Like, I should not be
No,
celebrated, you know? Even though
no,
I do believe there should be an auntie day.
I
I will
agree with you on
advocate for
that.
that
Yeah,
because I love these
same.
little kids like they're mine. But like to say I know what it's like to be a mom, that would be a very false statement.
Yeah. So I just, and the next thing, and the other last thing I want to say about this like whole new thing that's happening is like, I feel like there's not this type of like controversy around Father's Day, right? Do you feel like you hear people like discussing this about
Well,
Father's
first,
Day?
I don't even think we hear anything about Father's Day, so it's kind of sad. Like we
Yeah,
don't see
that's
it,
true
and
too.
like even my dad's face, I was like, Dad, we're gonna do the. Oh, my mom was like, we're gonna throw you a big party too for Father's Day. My mom's so sweet. She's always like she's the kind of person that like wants everyone to feel welcome and everyone, honestly,
Oh,
even to a default. I'm like, Mom, this is my birthday. I want people to sing to me, not everybody else.
right, right.
My mom was like, no, honey, like everyone. I'm like, no, Mom, like this is my birthday.
Right. Actually, it's about me today. If you can
Actually, it's
just
about me. No, my mom would literally take a
recalibrate.
gift that they gave me and give it to someone else. Like if there's a kid or what, like I remember we were kids, and like my mom, she saw something to give to someone else, she would get it from us. I'm like, Mom, this is my toy. I don't want to give it. Anyways,
Right.
long story short, so she was telling my dad, I'm gonna throw you a party, a big party for Father's Day. My dad's just like,
Aw.
like he could care less. But like but I do feel like it's not as like advertised, and I do think like
Yeah.
I was talking to my friend. I was like, yeah, I mean, what are you gonna sit there and say? Oh no, I like we are talking about the flowers for Mother's Day, a crazy price, and not just Mother's Day, but like Valentine's and all these, right? All these like
Mm-hmm.
women holidays, and I
Mm-hmm.
only say whatever these are because it's like a regular flower bouquet that's really nice and pretty will cost you like $25, 30 on a regular day, and those same flowers are like freaking hijacked to like 89.99, like $125, but it's like you really can't sit there and debate like how much you should spend on your mom that gave birth to you that was in labor. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So, and I
yeah.
feel like with men, they're like, okay, you had a kid, whatever. Like, they don't really advertise it as much because
Yeah.
they're not sitting there scrolling, like shopping on Amazon and like doing all these things that us women do.
Yeah. Yeah. And I
I
feel
mean,
like they don't really and I asked my brother, and my brother said, so I asked him yesterday because I was like, do you ever like when you think about Father's Day, because he's single, doesn't have any kids either. I'm like, do you
right.
ever kind of feel a little, some for those who are single and kind of older, you do kind of, you're happy for Mother's Day, but there's still like a, gosh, I wish I was a mother
Like
type of
you're at that
element
age
to
where you
it.
can be.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
you have that element. So I asked my brother if he ever feels that way. He says he's never thought about Father's Day till just then. And I was like, okay, men are different. Men are different.
Exactly. Men are
So
very different.
I guess it's not that big of a deal, or like they don't have all this hubbub because it's not that big of a deal to them because they just don't think about it that way. I
They
guess,
just don't,
but
yeah, and it doesn't hurt. Like I mean, I don't want to speak for them. Maybe we should have a guy come on the podcast with that. But like, I don't know. I don't think my dad sits there and like, I really want a cake and balloons. I mean, I
yeah,
don't know. Like, I don't know. I
can't
think for guys,
relate.
they just
That's
want to be left
crazy.
alone. My dad would love
Yeah,
a day where he can go hunting and like all this stuff. That's what
yeah,
they like. I'm like, that's what they like as a my man.
yeah. Like that's crazy, but that's
But they
just
should be
something
celebrated because I think
I
society does
agree.
have a like negative viewpoint on men and how like blah blah blah. But it's like no, there are good men out there. Obviously like yes, there are some like really trashy, poor men, but like I'm poor as in like be characteristic and all that, but um they're a really good man, and I know my brothers are good men. They're raising their
Yeah.
families and have their wives and everything. My brother-in-law, my sister, has a really really awesome husband that's very supportive, and with her, the girls, everything. And then obviously my dad, which is the reason why I didn't ever want to settle any relationship. But yeah, so I think it should be, all these good men should definitely be highlighted and celebrated. So
I agree. In my
that's
head, I'm
that.
like, when I get married and have children, like, my husband's Father's Day is going to, like, everyone's going to be envious of it. Like, I'm going to make such a huge deal out of it. Like, he's
I
going to
love
be
that
like,
queen.
oh my gosh, this is too much. But no, because you're right. Like, we need to celebrate that more. We need, like, that's probably why they don't care, because they've never really had to. And I don't want to make, that's the other thing too. I don't want to like feminize it, because like if you really don't care, you really don't care. But I do want them to realize that like they're appreciated. Like I do think
Yeah,
fathers should know that like a father is very important, and there are, like you said, there are good men. There are
yeah,
good men, and
absolutely.
I'm gonna leave it at that. There are good men.
And just as a woman would lay down her life for her children, so would a father,
a
they
hundred
would lay down
percent.
their life for their kids. So I
Yeah,
feel like
and
we
their
forget
wife.
that. We forget that
Yeah,
they're emotional too. Like, oh, they like my dad, obviously he's older now, so he's very, okay with showing his emotions and stuff. So it's like he cries when he remembers us being kids and stuff. And I was just like,
oh
oh, that's so sweet to see, like, your dad, or like, just a guy like showing his emotional side. You're just like,
yeah.
because you can almost forget. You think that they have to be so strong and so masculine and like absolutely, but like that doesn't mean that, like, they don't have a heart.
Right.
So
Right.
anyways, but
All
I'm
right.
losing sunlight, girl. I'm losing sunlight. We gotta chop.
Okay. Next story. Next story. Um, about this one's about what's going on with the Miss USA. Have you heard about this?
Yes, I have.
Okay. So this article's from EB Magazine. What's happening at Miss USA? Title holder Noelle Vaught writes hidden message on Instagram post. I'm gonna try to read this really quick and then we'll talk about it.
Okay.
Let's see here. Miss Teen USA Savasta resigned just days after Miss USA Noelle Vaught stepped down, and fans are convinced Vaught shared a hidden message on her Instagram. The 2020 wow. The 2023 Miss USA winner voluntarily resigned on Monday, becoming the first title holder in the pageant's 72-year history to quit. Just days after Vaught stepped down, Miss Teen USA followed suit. Is the Miss Universe world finally in shambles? So here, why they're saying, why did she resign? Earlier that week, Vaught took to Instagram to share her reasons for quitting. In a lengthy statement, the title holder revealed she dropped out to prioritize her mental health. In life, I quote, in life, I strongly value the importance of making decisions that feel best for you and your mental health. As individuals, we grow through experiencing different things in life that lead us to learning more about ourselves. My journey as Miss USA has been incredibly meaningful, representing Utah with pride and later the USA at Miss Universe. Sadly, I have made the very tough decision to resign from the title of Miss USA. Similarly, Stravastava shared an official statement on her social media, writing, I will always look back on my time as Miss NJ Teen USA fondly, and the experience of representing my state as a first generation Mexican Indian American. Oh, that's
Oh,
interesting.
we love that.
At the national level, all fulfilling in itself. After careful consideration, I've decided to resign as I find my personal values no longer align with the direction of the organization. Social
Wow.
media sleuths believe Vaught intentionally left a hidden message in her Instagram. If you look at the capitalized letters at the beginning of each sentence and piece them together, one eerie phrase sticks out. I am silence. The last three capital letters spell out HIP, but what it stands for is unclear. Okay,
Wow. That's a
now,
lot.
yeah, what do you think about that? That's crazy, right?
Yeah, it's definitely some tea for sure. I was thinking about it earlier and I was like, I don't know. I feel like the whole letter in disguise, it might be a reach, but you never
Um,
know.
have you seen the post though?
Yeah, I've read it. I mean,
Okay.
I've skimmed through it, but yeah, I don't know, maybe it's not a reach, maybe it is, but like I feel like that's a little bit extreme. But I
Yeah.
do think that obviously it had to be something big happen that they just felt a certain way, certainly felt strongly enough to be like, all
Mm-hmm.
right, peace out, because I feel like, I mean, I've never been a pageant girl, but I've had friends who have been in pageants and stuff, and you just put a lot of work, sweat, and tears, and
Money.
I mean, money and all that stuff to get the title. And a lot of people compete for years and years and they never win. They never get the crown or whatever. And then it's like to get to that place where you are crowned Miss Teen USA and Miss USA, it's like I don't know what the heck's happening, but I'm not really knowledgeable about the whole like what's been happening lately over the years. I don't even think I've watched a whole like pageant show, if I'm being real honest. But yeah, I guess something must be really happening. But we all know. I feel like the only thing I know is like obviously with like networks, they do air certain things, they don't air certain blah blah blah. So maybe it had to do with something like they just feel like they weren't able to practice like their maybe like their free speech or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
So
I don't really keep up with pageants. Like, I don't personally, I don't find that stuff interesting. I know some people like it, and I mean, this is
to
fascinating, like
each
what's
their
going
own.
on. Yeah, to each their own. So I don't really know what's going on, but I'm assuming something big must be going on behind the scenes
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
because yeah, because I think like to quit, like you said, you made such a good point. Like you put so much time, energy, money, effort into this thing, and then just to quit out of nowhere, like that's very unusual. And
Yeah.
then I think it's interesting that the adult and the teen both quit because I feel like that must mean that they're
Right.
communicating. And then what does their values no longer align with me? What does that mean? Like I think it's just so this I'm excited to follow along because it's a little bit of
Right.
drama.
It
So
might be like the downfall of the pageantry world or something, like
yeah,
the like, the tip of the iceberg type of thing, where
yeah,
it's
this
like,
could be it. You're right.
like, oh, I'm trying to find an example of it, but I can't think about it right now. But like, whenever there a big story comes out and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, like this and this and that, like this is what's really happening, blah, blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah.
this is their
Oh,
Ellen.
wait.
When the person wrote that hit piece about Ellen, and she no longer.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is their. Or the hit piece about Playboy Mansion.
Yes, because I
Yeah.
actually I was listening to I like that podcast, Call Her Daddy with Alex Cooper,
Mm-hmm.
and I was just really listening to. I was trying to tell my sister, but then her screaming girls were in the background. I'm like, okay, I'll call you later. But I was basically trying to tell her about the Hugh Hefner, the Playboy Mansion, like back in the early 2000s, that was like the thing. Like our reality shows, like if you think about it, were so insane. And
Insane.
back then, I think a lot of things have changed because back then we just didn't have social media. And if you think about it
Mm-hmm.
now, it's like you we are basically our own reporters and
Mm-hmm.
news outlets and influence. Like I feel like the gap between like Hollywood and versus us normal people was so big, it was almost like unreachable. We never knew what was
Mm-hmm.
really going on behind closed doors. But now, because of over the years, people have been coming out with like, hey, this is really going on in this world, in that world, in Hollywood, and it's so many things are getting exposed. I feel like because that gap is a little bit closer, not in like, okay, we're rich celebrities too, but because like there's never been a time where like technology has just like really made us connected to the point where you can get on a podcast, have your own mic, and be like, this is my story, this is my truth, this is blah blah blah, It's really never been a time for it like now. So I was listening to about it, the Hugh Hefner, how the girls, like literally what they had to go through when they were in that house, and just how crazy it is because back then, like, you know, um, you just didn't because you were so young and like groomed, you just didn't even know what you didn't even know. Like a lot of they were saying how like a lot of the times the girls were like if they just thought it was normal for to have a freaking to be in a house full of other women that sharing the same boyfriend and being pinned against each other. Like they said that apparently that they would take Polaroids of the girls like in bikinis and they would like rate the girls like one by one, seeing like what
Oh
parties they were
wow.
gonna be able to go and what parties they were able to be at, and it would have like a grading system like ABCD, and like
Now
D means like all that stuff. And I'm like, and the girl Alex was like, how did no one say like this is probably not like not good, like this is probably like not right? And the girls were like, I mean, that was just something that was that you did, and like that was just it. Like you didn't say anything about it, even if you thought like if even if you thought about it, like it would have been weird for you to stand up and everybody else is gonna be like, okay, like get in line, you know? Like so
It
I don't
is.
know.
Yeah, it's so interesting, like how times have really changed. Because you're right, like that whole concept is so bananas.
Like,
That's
why did
so
not anyone say this is
crazy.
not right? Like, this is wrong. Like, this should
Yeah.
not be happening.
Well,
It
here's the
definitely shouldn't be a reality show about it.
I bet people did say something, but not like they weren't loud. Or not even they weren't
Yeah.
loud. Like they weren't we didn't have social media, so it's probably like I'm thinking like my parents were the type that like when there was an Adam and Eve store, you guys know Adam and Eve, an Adam and Eve store that was coming to show like my parents and like their church like protest. Like my parents were those type of people. So like I'm
Right.
sure my parents and like other people like super Christian conservatives were like against it. But because there was no social media, you kind of just talked amongst your friends. You said things and
Right.
like in North Carolina, you're not going to march down to Hollywood and pull these, knock on the mansion. No, come on, girls, you can do that. Like, you're not going to do that. So, like,
Right.
but
It's more hush
now,
hush. It's more hush
right,
hush, you know? And now it's like you can have support from all over the world with one little video that
right,
you make, you know?
right.
And like, so I think people feel more comfortable coming out. But yeah, I think like now it's just like with social media, you feel like you can reach way more people. You can kind of tell your story. Again, there's really nothing stopping you from starting a podcast or whatever, you know? So, and plus when you're young, you really do think like a lot of the stuff that you're doing is like okay and like what's the big deal until you're like,
Yeah,
oh wait, I was groomed, I was this, I was that. And like even even being in the cheerleader world, there's obviously like this like dark area of it. There's like this dark part of it of like, you are kind of you're dancing and stuff for a professional team, and then we don't get compensated as such, like as an athlete would. And so there's just a lot of different things that go on behind the scenes. So I'm sure it's the same way for pageants.
yeah.
Um, for sure. There are people like commenting on your weight, like you literally sign a contract, you sign an
And
NDA.
cheerleading?
Yeah, and cheerleading. Yeah. There's like
Oh,
it's
wow.
you're an employee. Like you have your, you get paid for what you do. There's contracts, there's agreements, there's NDA. You can't take the players. That's like a big no-no.
Really? You couldn't date the
You can't
players?
be seen with the uniform, like the uniform, because you're an ambassador of the city, of the team that you're representing. So you have to be well-rounded, well-spoken. You have to have a full-time job. Like there is a lot of like guidelines, yeah.
Wait, you
So,
had to have a full time job and cheerlead?
yes, you have to have a full-time, part-time because
Oh,
like the
I
way
thought.
that
Oh, wow. I
yeah,
assumed that was your full time job.
no, a lot of these girls like they are actually really like they're very well-rounded. They have like full-blown careers, and then they do cheerleading part-time, but they don't tell you like part cheerleading is like a full-time and like it's full-time job. That's why I only did it. I mean, granted, Dynamo
That's what I
ended really.
thought. Yeah.
Yeah, the my cheer squad, we didn't have another season, but yeah, I mean, I was going to school at the time. I was going to college. I was 21, and I had a part-time job, and I was going to college, and I was doing, dance on the side. So
Oh, wow.
crazy. So I don't know what these pageant girls. I mean, it had to be huge for them to
Yeah.
literally be like, "All right, peace out."
Yeah.
So
And I guess we'll see in the next couple of weeks because I don't think that they would just do that and then, oh, well, that's that. So I'm
yeah,
sure something, because I mean, the reality is like we do live in a different time and like I, and I mean, beauty is such beauty, weight, makeup, all these things are very sensitive for women having these conversations. So I'm sure there are some things that like times have really changed.
yes. I
So
mean, think
I'm
about like, did you ever watch America's Next Top Model?
yes.
Like
Yeah,
basically the shows that are and this could be like a whole thing. We need to hurry up, but like this could be a whole thing. Like the shows that were aired like the early 2000s, like Argent millennials. I think we like that's what I think a lot of people say, oh, Gen Z is like they're very soft, like, they're very soft generation, because like these shows that we grew up with, like they were pretty savage. Like America's Next Top Model, they would literally call a plus size girl someone that literally weighed a little bit more than 100 pounds. Like
Yeah.
120, 130 was a plus size model. And
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
say that now, like there's just so much repercussions, and I do think like a lot of it was for good, you know. But it's like, you know, I feel like now it's like you can't even say anything. Like Tyler
Yeah.
Banks would not, like Tyler
Oh,
Banks would have not, a lot of
canceled.
these shows, most shows that we watched growing up would have been canceled. Like
Yes.
even like on Disney Channel, I look back, I'm like, that's kind of racist. Like that's probably like that they're violating a lot of like you know rules. I
Social
just
rules, yeah.
yeah, but it's like,
Yeah.
oh my, like Tyra would have not made it. Like
No.
she would have been canceled so quick. Like those shows that we
Gr-
watch were literally like,
yeah.
I'm like, this is why we're traumatized.
No, you're so right. I'm like laughing thinking about some clips. Sometimes I'll see when people like share clips from America's Next Top
Yeah.
Model or even from her talk show. I loved her talk show. I was a huge fan. And like some of the things that she said, some of the like segments they had were
I
just
will
like,
say,
oh,
yeah, and I
okay.
think like people feared like celebrities, and people feared
That's
like
true too.
they feared the people like the you know the producers, the directors, all that. And I think those walls are like coming down. Like people are like, "What? You're not about to talk to me crazy. You're not about to make these
Yeah.
statements." Like, well, you know what I mean? I think it's like a
Yeah.
little bit of both. Like I don't know. I'm trying to explain it, but yeah, I feel like you know how Tyra yelled at some of those girls. Like that is just
I know.
not. No, you know, but that's
On
like what
national
you're used
TV.
to. But that's what you're
Yeah.
used to, you know, and you think
Yeah.
it's right. And a lot, like I even in my high school, like I had a director who I loved, and personally, I thought she was great. Like she really taught us how to like not have any BS. Like you know, there's a different. I feel like there's a happy medium. You don't want obviously to like crush someone's like confidence and call them names and you know traumatize them, but it's also like if you just tiptoe around everything and you don't you know you don't give hard criticism back, like you're not going to develop those skills like that are needed. And I feel like
A
this is why
hundred
it goes into
percent.
parenting, like the whole parenting thing now with the whole gentle parenting and stuff, which I can't even talk about that because I'm like I'm not even a mom. Like I just feel like that's such a big role
Yeah.
to raise kids. But like back to the whole like soft you know generation thing, it's like I do think there's a balance because it's like yeah you know obviously with whole Tyra yelling at people like scrutinizing them, like obviously that's not good, but at the same time it's like people have gone to the point where it's like to the extreme of like they don't fear authority, they don't fear anything because they just feel like there's not going to be any repercussions. And it's made us kind of like this weak like okay generation of like okay well you can't tell me this, you can't tell me that because my feelings are hurt and now I want you to get fired, you know. And
Yeah.
we've seen that too of like people getting canceled, you know, like on The Bachelor, the host, he
Oh
got
yeah,
canceled
yeah, yeah,
and his whole
yeah,
livelihood, that was his whole career and livelihood. So it's just
yeah.
like dang, like I think we went from one extreme of like we're never gonna we're gonna shut down, like I'm not saying like we're gonna get abused you know back behind the scenes and we're never gonna say anything, like obviously that's not right either, but now to the point where it's like we have the control now where we're like all right well I didn't like how you said this and we found something you did 2000 million years ago and now you're fired and
Yeah.
stuck on that, you know. That's
It's
crazy.
like, oh gosh, I cannot remember the book, but I think it was Animal Farm where like finally the people who were oppressed became in charge, and then just because of human nature, now they're doing things to the people who
Yeah.
were hurting them. And there has to be a balance because you're so right. Like you were talking about a teacher. I remember I did ballet growing up, and I remember my ballet teacher, then one who was in charge of the whole ballet school, whenever she was very strict. I remember that's one thing. She's from England. She would tell us we were making her cross
Yeah.
all the time. But I do know for a fact, like I was a better dancer. I did better when she was there, when she was strict on me. I don't think she's ever made me cry, except for one time I had the hiccups and it was in the middle of rehearsal and she pinched me because we didn't have time to go and we didn't have time to go get water, and she said if you'll
Yeah.
be fine. That's the only time I can think of. She was like, okay, that was probably not appropriate. But other than that, though, like, she was very strict. And I mean, that does help. Like, we need discipline. We need someone to hold us to a standard. And there's nothing wrong with that. But we've gotten to, you're so right, we've gotten to a point where we can't even do that, where we can't even, like, you know, you can't criticize someone, or you criticize someone and then they make it a bigger deal. But I think that's kind of goes to a problem, like, that we have in ourselves. Like, I think, I don't want to say that we can't be too sensitive, because, like, I hate that, because, like, I am a sensitive person, but I think you have to, like, yeah, so, like, I think you have to realize, like, even when some people, like, give me critiques, like, 9 times out of 10, if you say I'm doing something wrong, I am going to take it to heart. Like, I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, whatever. No. I'm taking it to heart. But, like, I've become, like, now that I'm older and, like, I'm more self-aware, I'm able to take what you said, take it to heart, and then be like, okay, you're telling me this because you want to make me better. Maybe I do need to work on what you said I need to work on. And I don't think a lot of people are self-aware enough to do that. And, like, sure, like, okay, let's say you were to tell me, like, you know what, Mallory, like, honestly, like, I just think you scratch your nose too much during the podcast, and it kind of distracts, like, it takes away from the podcast. Like, I'm gonna sit there and be like, wow, did she just say I have the worst podcast online? Like, and then I'm gonna take a moment and be like, no, that's not what she said. She said she wants to help me. This is my friend. And people aren't able to regulate that anymore. I don't know why they aren't able to regulate it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I think that, like, it's very hard to, like, I don't know, I think because it's just you have to have, like, a healthy balance, and maybe we just haven't gone that. It's like, I don't think you need to scold people and, like, freaking abuse them, but at the same time, it's like, we can't just take everything, every little thing, and be offended, and all of a sudden, like, make something out of nothing type of thing. So,
and you know what it makes me think of? Oh, sorry, really quick. What it makes me think of is, like, whenever someone, and this is going to be controversial, but, like, this is something I've been thinking about a lot. Whenever someone breaks up with someone, no matter what you've done, your friends are going to say, you were right, they were wrong. You were such a good girl. Like, but sometimes I think, like, what if you weren't? Like, his friends are telling him he was in the right too. Like, sometimes, like, if we were both in the right, we should still be together, type of thing. And I think, like,
like, taking accountability.
Yeah.
And I feel like, it's just and that's the thing. I think we try to take a very one-sided approach to everything, versus, like, everything has to be, like, its own unique situation. And I feel like that's where we're, going wrong. I don't know if you saw the whole, anyways, I feel like we're getting sidetracked, but, like, there's this whole thing about, obviously, like, the mob, right? You're never going to please people. And it goes back to, like, I think a lot of times now it's, like, to the point where, like, you like, if you're an influencer, you have to talk about certain topics, you have to talk about this, or the mob's going to come at you and, like, cancel you. Like, I also don't think that's healthy, because again, it goes back to the thing we were talking about before. You don't know these people's lives. You don't know if they support what they support, what they do behind closed doors. You don't know. So even if they do talk about it, it could mean nothing. Or just because they don't talk about it, they could be supporting. You just don't know. And that's a very slippery slope when we make, like, society, like, the ultimate judge, because it's also could not be to our most, like, benefit, I guess, because it's like, okay, well, the thing about the crowd is, like, you got to make them happy, and you can't always make someone happy. Not everyone's going to be happy with your decisions, with what you do, with what you say, so that's also, like, a slippery slope. So I don't know what's happening with the pageantry stuff, but
oh yeah, that's what the topic was.
Like, to your point, I know, right? We're over here, like, blah blah blah, like, in 1913, but at least, I don't know. I'm definitely intrigued to see what's happening, and, like, I'm sure more things will come to light sooner or later. But
let us
and
know
of
what
course,
you guys think. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, and I'm sure the girls, I can't even talk. The girls will probably be on some podcast, and that would be great.
Yeah. And you guys, let us know, what do you think's going on? Do you think this is abnormal? Do you think she really was leaving a message? Do you think what do you think it means, which is the values on the line? Let us know. Last thing, really quick, we'll talk about the surrogacy thing. We'll do that next week. I'll
I feel like we should cut the
but I do, really quick, for like 2 minutes, maybe max, talk about Bumble's rebrand. Have you seen that?
Oh, yes, 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 I have. It's like the
Okay.
whole celibacy thing, right?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes. So Bumble, for those who do not know, I don't even have an article for it because like I've kind of been like,
No, I have a little
intrigued.
thing I want to share because I saw a video on TikTok
Oh,
and
perfect, perfect. Okay, so let me explain. So Bumble rebranded, and honestly, I was kind of excited for it because, like, I'm a single girly. I have no idea where I'm gonna meet someone. I'm gonna be honest with you, like, no idea. I can't fathom. So, like, whatever. I'll take
yeah,
whatever opportunities come my way. So I'm excited for the
right,
rebrand. I saw on TikTok someone mention that they deleted all their pictures and everything. So I'm like looking at it, and then the rebrand happens, and I see the little ad, and I'm like, okay, this ad's kind of cute. I the whole nun thing for when I first saw, I was like, I thought about it. I'm not gonna lie. I thought if I'm gonna be single forever, I might as well like dedicate my life to Christ completely, and why not be a nun? I'm not Catholic. Maybe they'll accept. I thought about it. I didn't do it, but I thought about it. So I'm like, okay, this is intriguing. And then they said that the girl doesn't have to message first. I'm like, okay, now you got me. If the girl does not have to message
oh
first, now that sounds interesting. And
oh my
then,
God, they were dropping like
yeah,
little hints.
they were dropping all these hints. And then it's just like a bunch of things that just started to be a little bit like weird. Like the CEO used to be the CEO of Slack, and now she's the CEO of Bumble. And
Oh,
she's met her husband on a ski trip in like Aspen or something, like in another country on a
yeah.
ski trip. So, rich people meeting rich people. Anyway, so that's a little weird too. Like I can't say I like when people own apps, stuff like that, and they didn't even when they're single or they didn't even meet their spouse on the app. That's a little to me. And then she did like this whole thing where essentially she said that they're creating an AI program where you'll
Hmm.
match with someone and the AIs will go on dates to see if this is a good match. Literally,
What?
the Black Mirror. Did you see the Black Mirror Hang the D? It's called Hang the
No.
DJ. You should watch. It's on Netflix.
Okay,
Black
make sure you
Mirror.
text me that.
Okay.
Black, back or
Black,
black?
black,
Okay,
Black
I thought
Mirror.
that's what I heard. I was like, is it back or black?
Okay, it's Black Mirror Hang the DJ episode. I'm gonna text it to you, and you guys
Hang the
should
DJ
watch it.
episode. Okay.
That's literally what she says they're going to do. So it's just really it's weird.
No, I believe that too with the whole AI stuff. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So like I just kind of want to talk about that. So what did you hear on TikTok? Like what are your thoughts about all this?
Well, I saw yeah, so I got a little well, I actually did not see any ads on or anything on the for Bumble, because obviously I'm not single. And
Yeah.
also I just did not haven't come across it on the internet, like not on Instagram or anything. But like on TikTok, I came across a video. This is actually pretty cool because I feel like there's this new, and this is why I was telling you about the Sex in the City, early 2000s rom-coms. It was just around, and I don't know when it all started, but people think, oh, now we have, degraded values and everything, because of 2 years ago. It's like, no, like they've been planting these seeds for like a long time. Cause like even in the early 2000s, like now watching Sex in the City, I'm like, oh, like they're already talking about, this and that, sexuality and like liberation and have sex with anybody. Anyways, so, I came across a video of like how they said that they rebranded. Like Bumble apparently said, "Oh, don't like." They made a remark of like, "You don't need to be celibate,
Yes, I'll read it. Keep
kind of
going.
like
I'll read
whatever,
what they
like have
put.
fun." Yeah, read it please, so I won't be. I'm over here twisting words.
They said
Something around celibacy. It was like a billboard, I think. Oh, I just
it
got
was
like
an
a headache.
ad. This says you know full well avowed celibacy is not the hot answer. Is not the answer.
Yeah,
That's what the
and
ad says. You know full
okay,
well
yeah.
avowed celibacy is not the answer. Well,
And I was actually
go
so
ahead.
proud of the comment section, Mel. Like I was so like it was like a proud mom moment as an older sister because like I was just like looking at all the comments of younger girls, older girls, kind of saying like, oh no, like I've been celibate for X amount of years, like basically, and obviously not everyone's a Christian, not everyone's Catholic, number one's a Christ believer, right? Like we obviously, as Christ believers, we know that we're aware that we live in the world. We're not of the world, but we live in the world. So it's always nice to know that even if you're not religious or believe in Christ, that there's so many girls out there that are literally like turning the wave. They're turning the new chapter, a new wave of like celibacy and waiting for marriage and waiting for the right guy until like to give themselves to them, because it's more than just sex. And I think we've been told this lie, like, oh, sex is casual, this and that, like you feel so empowered, like it's amazing, and they never tell you, oh, by the way, like you could have a child, you could bring a child into this world, like, so you want to make sure, like there's just been our views have been so skewed because we've been fed all these lies. And it was just so refreshing to see like the girls in the comments, they were like, oh no, I've been celibate for this amount of time, and like I don't have plans of like hooking up with anyone anytime soon until this man shows me and proves to me that this and this and that, like my standards are set so high and this. I was just like,
Love it. Yes,
okay,
ladies.
queens, like it was just so
Yes.
refreshing because we finally, like, for them to be like, Bumble, like we're not having your crap, like we're not gonna,
Yeah.
you're over here trying to shove us these like cheap fake, like,
Hookup
empty promises
culture.
that like, oh,
Yeah.
hookup culture is so great and this and that. And obviously to each their own, not here to bash or judge and all that good stuff. But at the same time, it's like, it was just so refreshing to
No,
see
let's
that
bash
a lot of
hookup culture,
women
but
were
go ahead.
standing up for like, right. Yeah, that, yes. But it's like it was just refreshing to see that, like, it's like turning a new wave of like women being like, you know what, we're not going to sleep with these random men. We're not going to give these men okay, yes, you took me on a date, so now what? You want to like have sex with me? They're having high standards and they're, practicing celibacy, and I think that's pretty cool.
I
So I'm
love
like, good for
it.
us, girlies. So the girlies for the win. And they were just basically
Yes.
saying, no, Bumble. Like, they're like, I was sold this lie, blah, 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 blah. Like, it didn't work out. Like, I felt so empty and lonely and all of that. And I think if we raise our standards, it will automatically raise the standards of those women around us. And it will raise the standards for the men around us. And they will make them want to elevate. So it's this like effect of like we have to do that, so like we encourage other people to do it
Yeah.
as well. So anyways, that's my
Yeah.
little two
Like,
cents.
no, that's really good. And that is encouraging that women are like saying no to hookup culture. Like, hookup culture is so like hookup culture is out, abstinence is in. Like that's a takeaway. Ooh, that's the
Exactly.
title. Hookup culture is out, abstinence is
Period.
in. No, but
And
I
I think
like that.
people, yeah. I'm
Oh,
sorry, I cut you
no, I was
off.
just gonna say really quick. We both got a lot to say about this. But I was gonna say really quick, like I really like that that's the direction we're going in, because you're right. Like if we do this, if we as women come together and like hold men to higher standards, we can change this. Because I remember in college there was a time where like I was broken up with, and I remember going, I'm gonna be like all these other people. I'm gonna do the hookup culture thing, and I couldn't do it. Like I literally, like, it was going against every part of me, and I'm very proud of
Yeah.
myself. And I mean,
And
some of it was pride, but like I'm very proud of myself too. That I just was like, you know what, I can't do this. Like
like
I
that's not who I
cannot
am.
participate. That's not
Yeah.
who I
And,
am.
and yeah,
And
and
it's,
honestly,
yeah, it goes
we're
against who
we're
we
not
are as
designed.
women. Yeah.
Yeah, it really does. It's for our own very nature. And that's what I realized too. I'm like, I am not a hookup girly. I am a
No,
lover girl. I'm a lover girly
I'm a.
because I like, no, you're my husband after the first date. Like, what? So I think women are guarding themselves and they're guarding their hearts as they should. And I
Mm-hmm.
also, again, social media, like it could be used for good, it could be used for bad. I will say, I think it has used being good for good because you see so many stories. It could be made up or whatever, but like those crazy stories where women are like, this guy broke up with me 3 years ago because blah 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 blah, and now I'm with the love of my life. Is that story true? Who knows? But like at the end of the day, it probably encouraged someone to be like, hey, I waited, I saved myself, I wasn't out there, casually dating. And I think a lot of girls, especially like I said, it's so different now. We're not looking for marriage like back when our even our parents or our parents, where it was like marriage was pretty much survival. Like that was the only thing that you could do is like be a wife and have kids. Not saying like that is not the most important and fulfilling thing ever. But obviously, like, that's not everyone's life. Like, what am I supposed to do? Hate my life because I'm not a mom and I don't have kids? Like,
Right,
no,
right.
like, I'm gonna be joyful in the waiting. But anyways, that's besides the point. The whole point is like, now it's like, no, women have more choice. We're more educated. We don't need a partner, but we want to choose a partner that is like, that has the same goals, that has the same plans, same values, that is going to be a partner,
Yes.
not someone that we have to raise, not someone that's going to come home and abuse us. Like, we have a choice, we
Someone who's
are
going to
saying like
lead
no
us.
more. Yeah, someone
Yeah.
that's going to lead and protect us. And until then, why am I going to sit around and waste my emotional, physical, spiritual self, for someone that will I'll hook up with and they won't even give me a call back or whatever,
Yeah. I think that
And
is
so I
the
think women are tired. I mean, the
yeah,
dating pool is already tough enough. And
exhausted. Yeah.
I think girls were just fed up. We're just like, all right, if we're not gonna if the good men are not gonna raise up, we're gonna stand down. I don't know,
Yeah.
but I feel like and it's changed even since, like, I feel like I was single, like, when I was on the dating app, like, you never really heard stories like that. Like, if you were abstinent or celibate, it was like, oh my gosh. But now I feel like people are more accepting of other people's choices.
Yes.
I think sometimes it's like you never want to do you want to do what the crowd is doing because you don't want to be the girl that's like left out. But I feel like now everyone's like, if you drink, great. If you don't drink, great. If you want to have kids, great. If you don't want to have kids, great. If you want to, I think, as we are in that sense, I think we are more accepting of people's choices, and
Yeah.
it's not something to be frowned upon. It's more like, okay, you're choosing not to have sex until you're married. Good for you, queen. Like, we support that.
Yeah, that's so true. I feel like now when I'm like, when we're talking about it and I say I'm abstinent, the responses have changed. Oh, cool, good
Yeah.
for you. As opposed to, like, especially when I was younger,
Like, even when
what?
we were going
That's
to
weird.
college.
Yeah, when I was like, that's what I mean. Like in college, because when we were younger, at least I wasn't talking about it. But like in college, when I was younger in college, that's what I meant. It was like, what? That's weird. Oh, you
I
freak.
was in middle. Yeah.
Middle school.
Like, yeah, no,
Okay, well,
girl, I didn't even have my first kiss till like I was a junior in high school.
okay. My
Anyway,
first kiss wasn't until I was 18, so it's fine. Whatever. Anyway, I
anyways,
think it's really, like, this is so good
I
that
think
we're
it's a
doing
win
this.
for women, for
It's a
society.
win
Like,
for
I mean,
women, like USA. No, but I also think
win
like
for the girlies, gorgeous,
when
gorgeous girlies do not have casual sex.
wait, that's another good title. Gorgeous, gorgeous girlies do not have casual sex. Well, and
You
the
should put
other
that on the podcast as a title.
wait, no, that is the title. That is the title.
Gorgeous,
This
gorgeous girl.
gorgeous, gorgeous girlies do not have casual sex. Well,
No,
okay,
but
so
seriously, like, and
I
even just
think
like, huh?
sorry, really quick. Let me say this part real quick. And I think like the biggest like reason for abstinence, like take out the whole
Yeah,
like oh, a man, blah blah. Forget the man. Think about like yourself for a second. Like you, no, I'm being like
no,
think about yourself for a
seriously,
second. You are a human being that God created. You're an amazing
yes,
vessel. You are a woman. You have like all of God created you with all of your parts sacred. Like you are a bringer of life to this world. Like you have the
yeah,
capacity to bring a different life into this world. Why would you just
yes.
want someone, just anyone, to come, well, to literally come inside of you? Like, no pun intended, but like, why would
There
you
was the
want
little
to?
ones around.
Yeah,
No,
like,
seriously,
why would you
yeah.
want to bring that into your space? Like, if you are working I'll say for myself, I'm working my butt off to get my life in order. I cannot imagine having someone just to have. Like, it would be, sure, it would be nice to have
Like, I
someone,
feel
but
like
like,
it
I need
physically
someone to
goes
help
against our
me. Like, we
nature.
need to work
Yeah.
together. Like,
And that's what I'm
I can't be
saying.
pulling you along.
I feel like times are already tough to have
Right.
someone in your life that's gonna drag you down, that's
Yes.
bringing nothing but like, heartache and stress. Like, who
Right.
wants that? And I think, like I said, we're building this, like you said, forget the man. We're building our lives to where, like, we have a good relationship with ourselves, with our family, with our friends. We feel supported. We feel peace. Can I get an
Yes.
amen? Like, I
Amen.
got to the point where,
Yes.
like, I felt so much peace in my relationship with myself, with my family, with everything. It's like, why would I want someone that's gonna make me cry? Like, that's kind of like backwards. Like,
Right.
why would I want if you're already giving me headaches and like stress, and I have to worry about what you're doing, or that I can't trust you, like why would I leave my comfortable, peaceful life to do that? Like that sounds horrible.
Sister, yes,
Like,
yes,
like that.
yes.
And so I feel like, and I honestly think we got a little too comfortable with ourselves and being alone, because now it's like, all right, we're not even giving guys the time of day.
And
But
that's
anyways,
okay.
yeah, so it's just like we're cultivating a life that we want to that we want to live, and we are, becoming the best version of ourselves. And like I said, if you want the, in order to have, we always talk about, we want the right guy, we want the perfect guy or whatever. But what have we done? Like, are we becoming those kind of individuals and people? And if you have, then it's like more power to you. I think girls, we just kind of got tired of being, you know lied to and just like ghosted and all these like people, and men and women probably. It's like, obviously not trying to blame all the men, but it's like we forgot about just like human decency. And I think women, everybody has the right to be like, you know what, I'm gonna have boundaries, and if this person doesn't want to abide by them, then goodbye. So yeah, that's what I think.
Yes. Um, Everyone remember, I'm going to end it on this note. Gorgeous, gorgeous girls do not have casual sex. That's
Yes,
a
queen.
wrap. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you guys so much for listening. This is a little bit longer than we planned, but whatever. I think it was a good episode. We talked about the things that needed to be talked about. And since you
Period.
enjoyed the episode, go ahead and give us 5 stars. We'd really appreciate it. Leave us a review. Let us know, what do you think is, do you think something nefarious is going on in the
Not a fair.
pageant world?
Or if
And
you
then
are from the pageant world, we'd love to hear from you.
oh yeah, if you are from the pageant world and you want to come on and talk a little bit about it, that actually would be kind of exciting. Let me know. Reach out to
Mhm.
me if you're from the pageant world. Love to have you on. Oh, I also thought of someone I can have on. I
Yes.
didn't even
I think that'd be
remember.
fun.
Yeah. That's the first thing. Second thing, let us know, are you joining the abstinent train? Because gorgeous, gorgeous girls do not have casual sex. Like, is that something
Oh
you're a
my
part
God.
of? Like, or if you like the Bumble rebrand, did you think that, like, when I heard that girls don't have to message first, I was like, okay, maybe this rebrand will be good. Like, I thought this would be, but I don't think so. I don't think anything's changing. So, like, if you if you thought it was going to be
I feel
good, or
I'm
go ahead.
telling you, we've celibate and abstinent too hard. Now the dating apps are reaching. Everyone's like, we're done with y'all. Like Hinge,
Yeah,
Bumble. They're like, because it's a mess, and I'm sure that has to do with like the algorithm and stuff. I mean, like, again, this is back in my single days, which wasn't that long ago.
I was
Everything
gonna
has
say
just
you're talking
changed.
like it was like no, you were like, yeah, back when I was single, you was like it was like 6 years ago, and I was like, wait a second, it was
Back when I was one of y'all. I'm just kidding. No, but seriously, you would find the same people all over and over again.
that's
It's
true
like they
too.
purposely do that because they want you to pay. Again, you got to think about it. They don't really care if you find love. Like, sure, you find love, great, good for you. Give Hinge and Bubble a shout out. But they're in the business to make money. So if
Yeah,
they can keep you on that app, look at me talking like I know business and stuff. But like, if they can keep, I'm sure if they can keep you on the app, keep you going on dates, keep using premium and all that stuff, they're winning. They're getting more bottom dollar to their company, and that's why they want people to hook up. I guess they want you to hook up with everybody and anyone so that it doesn't work out and you keep getting recycled and all this stuff, and then it's just like you're back on the dating app. So,
yeah,
anyways, don't do
gross.
it, queens. Don't do it,
Don't do
queens.
it. Don't
Kings
do
and
it.
queens.
You're worth more. You're worth more than that.
Yes.
Love you, everyone. Thank you for
Yes, love you too.
listening. If you have a good day, night, evening, however, wherever you're listening. Bye.
Bye, guys.